Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and today we are going to be looking at predictions for the Clone Wars Wave 2 and 3. But before we do that, if you like the video, then at the end of the video do press like, as it really does help. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please also do that. I guess, that would really help as well. So the first part of this video is going to be me blowing my own trumpet, because everybody needs to do that once in a while. When it came to a prediction, I made a video in August, I think it's like August the 4th, about the Clone Wars. So this is literally just after it was announced at Gen Con. I started trying to predict what was coming out. And if you watch this video, if you listen to this video, I literally predict essentially everything in the core set. I won't go through it all, but I said, yeah, we'd have Grievous and Kenobi. Battle droids and clone troopers were the more obvious ones, droidicas, and then I said speed bikes. Turns out it's the bark speeder, which I don't really know too much about, but there you have it. I was like, I nailed it so well that I have to clarify that I didn't have any insider information. It was complete, just speculation on my part. Now the reason I'm mentioning that is for those people who saw that video and are watching this. I have no insider information, and again, I could be million miles off what I'm going to say. So everything I say here, speculation, may not be true. I also want to change a few things from that video, because I predicted what special forces we get and what vehicles we get. I'm sort of sticking with that, but on the Commander front, I may have had a change of heart. So I said it was likely going to be Grievous and Kenobi, and then the second wave would likely be Dooku and Anakin, which I think may still be the case. But I was thinking, if you look at the way that the original release came out, where we had Leia and Vias, they're sort of cheaper characters to essentially let you flesh out your lists. And if you have Dooku and Anakin, if anything, they're going to be more expensive or just as expensive points wise. So I think that is possibly not going to be the first character release. So what I think might be wave 2 will be characters like Rex. He's a commander. I mean, so you could back him as an operative, but I think he'll probably be a commander for sure. And yeah, because I mean, you could imagine him being 80 points, something like that. He'd still be really good, really strong, really potent. And if not him, I mentioned in the other video, Wolf Yularen, as he's sort of like that Vias-esque type of character possibly, but obviously for the Republic. And then, for the Imperials, you could have Dooku, we could have Anakin for the, okay, I said the Imperials then. For the Separatists, we could have Dooku, and for the Republic, we could have Anakin. But I think the support characters, we could be looking at Trench. He's a decent support character. I'm not really 100% sure how much he would cost. I don't really know too much about him. And he is essentially a naval commander. I don't really know if that means that's unlikely or not. There's another one, Lockdurd. I don't know how you say these names. And maybe even Kalani. I think though, we might get a physical flesh character for the Separatists, because it might get very droid heavy, especially when you look at, the special forces that are likely. And then I think at that point, I personally, from that point, don't think we will go to core troopers. So what we had for the originals, wave 2, we essentially had Vias and Leia, Fleets and Snows, with followed by the AT. Well, the ATST was sort of at release as well, but you know what I mean. But ATST and the Airspeeder were like the tanks. What I think might happen for the Clone Wars is that we'll not actually see a second unit of core troopers that soon. And the reason being is I think I personally can't think of a really obvious choice for core troopers. Now, some of you might have obvious choices, and if you do, write them in the comments below. Obviously, you've got Phase 2 clone troopers would be a obvious choice. The even more expensive core troopers. Could they end up being special forces? Who knows? But I sort of feel like you're going to get something out of left field there, like Gungans and a race of aliens for the Separatists. I think it's going to be an alien core trooper unit, because I think they'll want to really juxtapose the droids. They'll have a flesh army as well with all the like there's that race of like piratey kind of race, and they might be in it, and you know the Gungans do sort of fight for the Republic, so I think we'll get to those, but I don't think they'll be like wave 2 and 3. I think the core troopers might be wave, well, it might be wave 3 depending on what you count as a wave. It could be wave 3. I think wave 2 essentially might end up being special forces and a vehicle with the characters that I have aforementioned. And when we talk about what special forces, yes, I mentioned these in the previous video, which was nearly like it was August. How long ago was that? 8 months, maybe, something crazy like that. The ARC troopers, we have the BA ARC, the B ARC, I don't know how you want to say it, the BARC speeder bike. These would just be them on foot. A unit of these, your advanced recon commandos, it's going to happen for sure. I mean, they are going to happen. I'm that convinced. It's just a case of when. I'm predicting like wave 2 or 3, but for sure they could be 3, 4, 5, something like that. If you wanted to, you know, have an alternative opinion, that's definitely something that could happen. And for the droids, we spoke about this also in August, which was the B2 super battle droids, which I said look like Cylons. I really like those, really like the way that they look as well. The Separatists definitely on my agenda personally. So those I think would be the special forces, and we spoke about these as well. Tank wise, you've got this Saber class tank for the Republic. Need I say more? And the classic one for the droids. So yeah, that's like, this essentially is the same predictions of what I made in August. Because it sort of makes sense. Nothing in the Star Wars universe has changed. The only thing that I think has really truly changed is that the way that if we tried to compare the releases of the original trilogy releases to the Clone Wars trilogy, if you tried to go like for like, then we would know what would be coming. We'd have a cheap commander with another core unit. Then we'd have vehicles, probably those 2 vehicles that we were just looking at moments ago. And then we would, what would be next after that? I can't really remember what came after that. At the top of my head, we had Han and Boba Fett, so that was a nice combination. But what was the unit that came after that? The Commandos, which are essentially special forces, I think. Well, I think that's correct. So you could get another core trooper unit before you get the special forces, but I can't personally see a good obvious choice for a second unit of core troopers. I know we have some choices, but I don't think they'll go with stuff like Phase 2 clone troopers. I think they might end up being the 3rd unit of core troopers that the Republic get, just to sort of separate them a little bit. And they might even not be core troopers, it might be something a little bit more potent than that. Now, whether or not for the Separatists they'll actually want to move away from having the droids as the core, maybe they'll always just want to have the droids as the core units because that's so very thematic. I can see a world in which that they move away from the droids though and have a humanoid core unit, but I personally can't think of anything from the top of my head. Not being a huge fan is both a blessing and a curse. I think it was a blessing in the sense of my initial prediction, because I'm sort of that Star Wars fan they need to connect with. I'm not a huge into it. I don't know every single character. I don't know every single person. I need it to be recognizable. I can't speak, but I need it to be recognizable to people like me. Well, they need it to be recognizable to people like me. And, you know, Grievous and Dooku and all this kind of stuff, they are. Obviously, Grievous and Kenobi are the core set, but you know what I mean? Just obvious characters. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go with Anakin, because you'd think he essentially is the main character from for the first 6 episodes. So he'll definitely be very soon. I could definitely see a world where instead of going with cheap commanders, they go with Dooku and Anakin, simply because of the iconic nature of them. If they are not wave 2, they will be wave 3. If they are wave 2, then the cheap commanders will be wave 3. It's just going to happen. It's just the way it would be done. So the key question for me is, are we going to get another unit of core troopers so quickly, like we did in the original release schedule, or am I correct in thinking that in this case we actually might get the special forces before we get the core troopers? I think for some reason that's more likely. Then you'll have one of each unit with the tanks. I'm thinking cheap character, those special forces, those tanks, wave 2, Well, that would be wave 2. Wave 3 would be a core unit, Dooku and Anakin, a turret. I don't know, something a little bit left field. Possibly an operative. Cad Bane. Cad Bane. Need to get Cad Bane in here, don't we? Maybe an operative, something like that. And I do think that there is a real chance that Gungans might be in, and everybody will be like, what the hell, Jay? But I think they might want to go with something a little bit more than just a stormtrooper, and Gungans would be an obvious choice because they are actually in the movies and they're in the Clone Wars and they fight together with the Republic. So that's my thoughts on the issue. I realised that is a reasonably similar video to what I did in August, but one, I wanted to be like, guys, I was so close, and two, I think now that we've had a bit more confirmation of what we're getting in the core set and a bit more confirmation of what happened with the original releases, I think we can sort of nail things down a little bit better. Like, subscribe, thank you to Patreons, have a beautiful day. Goodbye. I mean, I am going, but I don't mean to be so formal. Thank you very much for watching. I do really appreciate that. Have a most beautiful day, and goodbye. Oh, let me know your thoughts on the core troopers. Specifically, core troopers I'd be very interested in, because I can't necessarily think of a really obvious choice for those. So have a beautiful day, and goodbye.